Hello, and back to Starfield. So, me and the dude, oh there's the dude, we've been out and about. We've been going here, there and everywhere. Because we're trying to set up, well, I'm not quite sure what we're trying to set up really. It's some sort of industrial thing. We're trying to take advantage of outposts to manufacture things. At least that was the idea. I mean, it was a great idea. It was a cunning plan. And, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to keep repeating the process of just building outposts here, there and everywhere. It would just be the same thing each time. So I'll show you what we've been up to, because we've been up to quite a lot. So at the moment I'm over at Jemison, but I think I'm going to head over to Cheyenne. We're going to go to Skink as an example. Let's go over to here where I'm mining silver. Because it's all to do with the outpost system that we've got.
Do you think
that
the previous inhabitants of this rock destroyed it all? That would be a very human thing to do.
That's a pretty good observation, that is, I must admit. But anyway, this is an outpost where we're mining silver. Because apparently, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time, so why not? So let's have a look-see. So we've got an extractor around here somewhere. So I've got an extractor and it's dumping out to a box, and then that box then goes to, except this starts to get messy, I find. When you've got different heights on the on your outpost, everything starts to fall apart in terms of looking at things. It's very difficult. You can't zoom out so easily. But anyway, that box is feeding into this box, which then feeds into the output box of this cargo link. So, at the moment there's nothing in. We're not really making that much silver. It's just your basic extractor over there. If we go and have a look in here, it's currently hooked up to what I've called a system link. So this was my train of thought. I had a lot of planets and there was so many links and it was just getting seriously complicated. So I've ended up turning Baran, if you will, into the system link. So the idea is all of these moons, planets within Cheyenne should send their resources here, and I picked this one specifically as the system link because we're producing helium-3. I mean, when I say we're producing helium-3, this is like a lot of helium-3. I think I've kind of overdid it because I was setting up helium-3 extraction, sending it to other planets or moons so that they could use it. Then I thought it'd be better if it's more streamlined, so rather than have multiple system links, each planet having its own system link, let's just send all of the internal stuff to here and try and keep it simplified. So that is the silver that's coming in from that skink outpost. And you can see I've got one box for it, so it's coming out of the inbox to that one box there, and then that feeds over to that box there, which then goes to the output box, which then goes on to another system link, which is for my manufacturing site, because I was running into issues where I was building things on different planets. Problem then, I was forgetting where things were. I mean, I was actually manufacturing like zero wire, I think, on Skink or somewhere. And it was a case of I completely forgot about that, so I was ended up either going out buying it or making it somewhere else. So I thought, let's just put everything in one manufacturing place. So yeah, so the reasoning behind all of these little individual boxes was to keep all of the same items, to try and find some way to put in some sort of filtering system of, if I could, and in a perfect world it does work. So we should have silver, because it's the only thing coming from this skink outpost, should that should be getting dumped into that box there. That then goes into that box, but this is where the whole thing then starts to fall apart. There's no proper filtering system in the actual Outposts game that we've got here. I didn't think it through. So this one here is bringing nickel and cobalt in from another outpost on Skink. So again, I'm putting them into their own individual boxes and then forwarding them onto these boxes. In a perfect world, what would then happen is when we go to the manufacturing site, you'll see there are 3 boxes like this, and then what should happen is those resources should then end up getting separated out, and in a perfect world it does actually work. Unfortunately, even with Starfield, it's not a perfect world. It quickly starts to unravel. So I'm going to go over to here where I've actually set up a dedicated site here, which is for so that's the manufacturing site there, but I've got another outpost which is to handle system links. So this is for all of those links from other systems to send their resources on to the manufacturing site. So it all gets dumped here basically.
Very empty. We'll just have to fill it.
Yes, that's a good point actually. It's a good thought. I like the way you're thinking. So yeah, this is the one here, the system link for Cheyenne. You can see the silver, this nickel. For whatever reason, the cobalt's not getting picked up. But what I'm doing is I've got my 3 little boxes here, and like I said, in a perfect world, it would work. I mean, there's nothing actually in these, but where things then start to fall apart is, well, it actually comes apart for a lot of reasons. If I have a look at this, a cargo ship at the most can handle about 500 resources. Now those resources, it seems to be based on weight, not amount. So maybe even if you could fit, say, 150 silver in here, you might be able to fit only 100 nickel in here. So the math starts to fall apart. I mean, at the moment I've only got 3 boxes, but if I had 4 like I have when you get to there, because I'm now feeding this all over from, so there's these 3 boxes from here feeding over to here, but then I'm bringing up resources in from other places as well. So I mean, I've got this one which is for Mayo, I think it's called. This is bringing in like tetrafluorides, alkanes, and copper. They're coming into those 3 boxes there. These 2 aren't so bad because these are gaseous, whereas these are solid. So I've got 4 solids coming into here, plus 4 gases. The gases would have kept separate to a certain degree from the solids when you separate them out at the other end. But the solids themselves are now getting mixed up. So let's just say these are, you know, evenly balanced. 150 here, 150 here, 150 here, 150 here. It's more than the cargo ship can handle. It's limited to 500. Or at least it is on a system link. If we then go over to here, which is just your internal cargo link, so this one's actually then sending all of this stuff out to the manufacturing site, so all of those individual resources should be getting sent over to this manufacturing site I've got now. We'll have a look at here. And it's sending them, as you can see, it's sending them here. The only trouble is that can only handle 300 at a time. So it's like, yeah, even though it's like, so there's stuff starting to build up already in here. It's a case of, well, there's too much. I can't take it all over in one go. So it's like, okay, this is starting to unravel, isn't it? So go over to the final manufacturing site, because in a perfect world, those individual resources would have been put into their own individual boxes. But we'll get over to here, and didn't want the camera. I'm still continuing the same theme of having the actual solid boxes plus the gaseous containers, and you know, I'm trying to keep everything balanced the way they should have been. But the problem is when you've got resources coming into here, in a perfect world we would have seen things like silver going into that box, nickel going into that box, and so on. The trouble is, if this box here is clogged up, maybe we need to put more silver into here, but there isn't the storage capacity for it. What it then does, it says, well, okay, is there any more storage available? And it would then dump it into that box, for example, if there was room for it. So it, on paper, it sounds good. And if you watch it, it does actually kind of work, as it separates them out at the other end into their own individual boxes, which is quite cool. About as far as it goes. And if you go all the way back to like the chain that we've got, they kind of simplified this, but it's overly complicated. So I've got stuff coming in from Cheyenne all the way over to Ursa Major, and that's Bardeen, over to Ursa Major here. Now the trouble is, if anything gets blocked up along the path, you can find out that things then don't get delivered over to here. So ultimately what you need to do is just deliver everything over to here so that you don't block up your supply chain, because you could end up with a situation where all I've got coming through is nickel, for instance. That's it. I'm getting tons and tons of nickel through, but I'm getting no silver, and the whole thing just starts to fall to pieces. So you've got to keep all of those supply chains free and open, and then you've got to handle the big problem at this end, which is where you start to run out of storage. So I started off where I was bringing things in like via ship, for example, dumping things into boxes like these, but these started to fill up. And I was trying to bring things in from all these different planets, but they were then starting to fill up. Yeah, this is the problem with this balloon thing. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So it was starting to get really, really messy, and that's why I've ended up doing this. So it's like, I'm still trying to keep the theme of individual boxes for individual resources. Somewhere down the line we might get something better added in. You never know. I mean, Starfield, haven't finished it. There's still at least potentially one more DLC to do, and they did quite sophisticated things with things like when they did like Fallout 4, for example, to improve buildings. And there's mods, and I know there is a mod out there to do some sort of filtering, but I'm going to keep this sort of like theme going for a while. But for now, what I need is big storage, and it's already filling up. I can see that now. So this is why I've got these boxes then feed onto this lower box, which then feeds onto this box, which then feeds onto this box. The reason I'm doing that is I can keep adding to this storage here. This box here. Yeah, see, my zoom's broken again. I've deliberately then broken it down again because this box here is feeding out to these machines, and what I'm doing is, depending on what resources come in, that's going to decide what this here links to. Because I've set up all of these machines at like tier 1, if you will, manufacturing. They've all got their own individual resources, and that's where I sort of like thought, well, actually it's probably better to work out what resources do I need rather than just bring everything in. Let's figure out what I actually need first, and that's what I've been doing. Me and the dude have been going out and about to find things. So this planet here produces aluminum, but I'm pulling iron in through here. This is my interlink system. So there's a series of planets within this system producing various resources. One of them will produce iron, for example, here. So they're producing iron. So that iron then gets sent to another outpost I've got, which handles... so that's a system one. Stop doing that. That's the internal one. This is for internal transport. So that's what that link is. That's for cargo that's coming in from other planets within this system. And then again, that one, that box, like the other one, it only feeds on to where it's needed. So that one there needs iron. Then it's going to that one there that needs iron. So that's what I did. I started going out to different places to find out, well, I know what I need. Each of these is telling me what it needs. So I'll just make sure I go out and get the relevant products. That's something I still need to find, is ionic liquids. Somewhere out there is ionic liquids. I mean, what I've also been doing, I've been hooking all of these storage containers up as well to these machines, because I had like a bajillion. It's seriously annoying, that zoom. I had like a bajillion materials, and I'm gonna basically let this all wind down. I'm actually been selling some of the stuff off. I'm no longer keeping this manufacturing storage. I'm just gonna use that up over time, then we'll remove it. But ultimately, all of this will get removed and be replaced by this bigger system here. But yeah, I thought it was probably easy to get these tier 1 manufacturing things set up first, work out what I need, and then go out and get it. So that's what I've been doing. And that's where I've got to, more or less, except for the... was it the isotopic liquid? Ionic liquids. I need to figure out what that is, where I can get it from. Because it may well be I have to deliver certain products here. Maybe there's going to be certain things I have to buy. I don't know yet. In which case I'll bring them in by ship, put them into storage like this, and then that'll feed those sort of systems. But it's interesting how you've got, I think there's one of them. Yeah, that needs the rheostats plus the magnets, so that actually is dependent on manufactured goods. So it's not always about raw materials. Sometimes it's materials that you're actually making. So I think there's one of them still here, which is there, the cosmetic and the fiber. I need to sort that out. I'm trying to find where I can get fiber and where I can get cosmetic, because the problem I've run into now is there's a cap on how many outposts you can get. An absolute pain. I think you're limited to about 4 outposts to begin with. Now this, you get a skill. I know what they've done in a sense, but if we go to here, this skill adds another 4, then you get 8, then you get 12, then you get 16. That's misleading. What that means is this will give you an extra 4. So you'll then go up to, I think you go from 4 to 8. Then it gives you another 4. So you go up to 12. It says you get 8. Well, that's 8 plus the base. That's 12 plus the base. And that's 16 plus the base. So each one's just giving you an extra 4. So it's very deceptive. But I got to like this level here, and it needed an extra 10 planets where you had to put down an outpost. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't build any more actual outposts. So we've had to get into the consolidation phase. So let's see, what was it? It was go over to Cheyenne. Where was it? Yeah, I think, was this no, it wasn't Cheyenne. It was might have been here. Yeah, this one here, Ursa Major 1. This one used to have an outpost where I got uranium. Well, at the moment I don't need uranium, so I ended up deleting that outpost. And then I've just gone, I think I went round to the Altera system or something. A system anyway, and I just basically went to each planet. I've landed on a planet, built an outpost, built a habitable outpost, and that boosted that skill, and I just went round to individual planets because they've got to be different. Fortunately, you can just delete that original planet. So I built one there, for example, deleted it, then went to there, deleted it, then went to there, deleted it, then went to there, deleted it, until I got that entire thing done. And then that was it. It got me to, I just needed an extra point, so I went back to the Serpentis system or whatever it's called, and that's now maxed out. So, but the trouble is, it's not telling me, but I'm limited to 5 outposts. I've been consolidating again as best I can, because if I go to the if we go to Sol, so this is the Sol system. Pluto doesn't exist anymore. I've taken that out, and reason being is if we go to go over to the Cheyenne system. This one at the moment is just purely helium, but I'm trying to find planets where I can get planets or moons within a system where you can get the helium-3 plus some resource. But like Thren over here, I was getting tungsten from here. But then I found this one here, Montara, or Helios, I think it is actually. Yeah, Helio or Hilo. Yeah, this one here is better, because this one's giving me the tungsten, the lead, and the titanium, and it's all on that one outpost. So it was the same as what I could have potentially done on Pluto. What that's meant is that, well, I'm already in this system, so by doing that in this system, I only need one system link. I don't need a system link for the Sol system, and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm trying to consolidate because I just don't have enough outposts. If I go over to here, for instance, it should let me try and build an outpost.
It's so tranquil here. I bet I can hear your voice much more clearly.
I'm glad you're pleased. It's good to know. But yeah, if I go to here, I can build a maximum of 5 outposts. I'm not really sure if this is going to be practical now. So I mean, I've got, if I go over to Alpha Centauri, I mean, I've got a base over here where we're producing it's fiber and nutrients, for example, plus some other things. Gagarin, on the other hand, I'm building that one because it's the only place I know of that I could get decent easy enough. I need a way to consolidate this, and the reality is I just don't know if I can get everything that I need. Anyway, I don't know if it's practical. I mean, this particular Bardeen, there's a ton of stuff you can get on Bardeen, but it's annoying because I've had to build an outpost here just to create a system link, because that's got helium-3. The planet itself doesn't, but this has got like lots of organics. This is the only place I've been able to so far find like lubricant. That's what it was originally intended for, but there's other things I could do there as well potentially. So I don't know what's even practical. So what I'm going to do is I want to step up to tier 2 and tier 3 if possible. Find out, well, what exactly do I need to make, because I think that's where my flaw was originally. I was trying to build and extract resources from just everywhere I thought I could get it without really thinking, well, do we actually need these things? So that's the plan. I want to find out what actual resources do I need, and how many, like, how many actual, like, outposts is that going to need? Is it actually even possible? I honestly don't know. So that's the tier 1 stuff. Over here. So this is tier 2 stuff. I'm just dumping these. It's annoying, the zoom thing, it just keeps messing up. So there's this one here. Now this one, I mean, that needs austenitic manifolds plus isotopic cooling, but that needs dysprosium. So somewhere that means at least probably one other planet I need to make to get dysprosium. Assuming you can get it. Now I've already got somewhere where I can get the tungsten. I know where I can get the lubricant, and I'm pretty sure the reactive gauge is something I'm making. Same with the austenitic manifolds and the coolant. Now this is another one where it needs ionic liquids. Now membrane is something I haven't a clue where to get membrane from. But let's just keep plugging away. So we'll see what we can do. But my train of thought really is I'm just going to have to just keep dumping stuff here. And at the moment it's blocked up already. Even with all this stuff, it's blocked up. So yeah, I'm just at the point now where I think, well, okay, well I'll leave that for a while and let's just see what is necessary and what's possible. But otherwise I'm going to need some like special way to dispose of excess materials. So right, let's go back. So we did, so there's control rods there, that's that one. Then there's drilling rigs, which is that one. Then there's molecular sieves, which is that one. Then there's nuclear fuel rods, which is going to be that one. Then you got paramagnetic conductors, which is that one. This is getting sophisticated already. Then you got positron batteries. Semi-metal wafers. Sterile nanotubes. Supercooled magnets. And zero-G gimbals. Okay, so what do these ones need then? So there's solvent. Oh yeah, unfortunately I destroyed one of my uranium sites, so that's interesting. I mean, I did consolidate I did consolidate one of the copper ones. I originally had a separate copper outpost here. I've since taken that out, and I'm now bringing that in along with the alkanes, I think it is. It's either copper and tetrafluorides or copper and alkanes, because I managed to find one planet with those sort of things. But that was the whole idea, find out what I need here and then go out and look for planets that could get me that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's another. So far I definitely need dysprosium, because I'm assuming the membranes might be something that you grow ionic liquids. Who knows? Uranium, so I need to find that. We're making zero wires, that's okay, but I need to go and find neodymium and gold. I need to go and find antimony and vanadium. Antimony and gold, well, we've already got that, so that's okay. So there's two systems using that. Then we've got our vanadium. I think neodymium's come up before, and I'm making the coolant and the magnets as far as I recall. Tantalum. Now tantalum, I think I've already got that on one of the other planets. I think I'm doing iron, and I've just set up lube. I've got the lube from, was it Bardine 3? I think it is. Okay, so what about the next tier then? So this one's going to be. Yeesh. Oh, actually, I haven't said that. There's a one over there. I think I've got one over here. Right, so grab that one. So plug that one there for now. Right, so that's a substrate molecular sieve. But at the moment, it's a case of, well, I've only got 5 planets, so I mean, originally I was going to have one link here. That was the plan. But it was getting too, because it's just too noisy. So I mean, I've tried to separate things out. So I was going to try and get like a system link would forward onto the internal link planet, and then everything would end up at there, and then it would be passed over to here. So I'd only have one link over there, but yeah, it's not all that practical because I'm trying to, you know, filter things. Adamite drilling rigs. Okay. Some weird stuff getting made here. Right, so let's jump into here. So that's the Aldamite drilling rigs. So if you move on to that, that's Indesite wafers. Just plunk that there for now. I mean, at the moment, I'm not putting them anywhere as such. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do. Microsecond regulators. I'm gonna need like a bajillion power as well. Power circuits. Rothosite. Ah, interesting. Well, that's interesting because there was a point where I actually needed some of those to make certain things. Substrate molecular sieves. Ah. They come in handy. Tiazine superconductors. What? What's one of them? And what do they get used for? Virile tree. I think at some point something needed that. Actually. Oh, I don't have any polymer. Right, I need some polymer from somewhere. As far as I'm aware, I can't make that. I think I need to buy it. Then there's the Vitanium fuel rods. Right, I'm gonna go over to... probably go to Jemison. But I can see me ending up with like a ton of different outposts. So I want to try and, I don't know if it's possible to actually consolidate it all. I mean, there's some places I've got where there's just one, like probably one item being produced, and there's somewhere I'm doing both. So like, I think, yeah, I think there's... Jemison is capable of both fibre and nutrients, but I'm also pulling nutrients from ASUS. And I don't know if that's... is it necessary? Because I need... the one thing I'm trying to do at the moment, I'm trying to find somewhere where I can get both fibre and cosmetics.
You'll be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving.
If I can find a planet that does both of those, I might be able to handle the one machine that I've got that needs both fibre and cosmetic, and do it with just one outpost. I mean, I don't know if maybe there's a mod that can up the limit on how much, how many cargo, how many outposts you can have.
If it belongs on your ship, then I'm sure we have it for sale.
That's good to know.
If you don't see what you want, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Oh, please, take a look.
It's kind of pointless, really, because all I can do is buy what I can see, quite frankly, but never mind. Let's have a look. Polymer. Have you got polymer? Oh, we've only got 4, though. Bicycles. That's enough for one of them, which isn't enough.
Thanks for shopping at Jemison Mercantile.
Thanks. You had what I needed. Just not enough of it. Let's try... where's Cheyenne? Oh, incidentally, Cheyenne, there's this little place I've got here. This is something I've completely overlooked. It's interesting. It's a level 1 system. But I set this place up. So this is quite good, actually, because this has got helium-3. I've had to set up 2 outposts, but one of them is producing the copper, so that meant I could get rid of the copper outpost on Ursa Major. But I've also got, but it's what this is doing. It gives me the copper plus the tetrafluorides, but I'm also getting the alkanes here, which is interesting. This is quite useful. but it's also, I think this is the healing one as well. Yeah, but it's definitely useful. That I was trying to find out where is there a planet I can actually get tetrafluorides from, and that one comes up as a suggestion. So it's definitely useful. It's easy overlooked because typically all you ever do is go to Cheyenne. Speaking of which, I want to go to a Keeler, but if I can take away the excess outposts, it might be possible. You never know. But it's a case of like, well, where can I get like outposts that produce all the materials? Because that's where I was going wrong. I think I was looking for materials first, with a plan of just dumping everything into one place. Or
This seems like a good place to buy a succulent.
is this because it's a desert area? I'm assuming that. But yeah, the original plan was, oh, let's just dump everything into one place. But that would have fallen apart because there's just not enough outposts you can build. And also, it's just the sheer amount of storage just gets bonkers. At some point, I was finding outposts where, oh, I can manufacture things on individual outposts. Then that falls apart because it's like, well, where can I cannot remember where I've actually started building things. So it's a case I've come all the way back full circle that I just need to dump everything in one place so I can manufacture everything in one place so I know where to go and get things from. And I've got a storage problem.
I'll say right up front that if you're short on credits, I can't help you. Any more charity cases, I'll go out of business.
Okay, well that's okay, because I want to buy stuff.
I want to do your business quick. The Rangers plan on dropping by for an order soon.
You seem to be buying a lot of things. Hey, have you got any polymer?
All kinds of things. What are you looking for?
Polymer. I need polymer. Please, I just need a bit. Not a lot, just a bit. An itty bit. Oh yes, you've got 4 as well. That is extremely convenient. Oh, speaking of extreme isotopic coolant, is that something I needed? I should have checked. Thanks. Right, let us head back to Ursa Major. So if there's anything I need to buy, the plan would be, well, I'll dump it in to a storage at the facility myself. Right, so we want to go back to here then. So yeah, it's tricky. I think they kind of like simplified it in that there's no filtering going on. So really what you've just got to do is keep the links as completely free so nothing clogs up and nothing gives you a problem where you've got too much of one thing and nothing of the rest. But then you've got to build just ridiculous amounts of storage, which is just not practical. That's where it falls flat on its back. They bicycles. Resources. Isotopic coolant. That can go in there, because ultimately you'll end up in there. Liquid containers over there. I think that's what I wanted. Was it isotopic coolant or something? Oh, it's ionic. Look, I was close. Yeah, I was close. So yeah, that's my one bottleneck at the minute. But anyway, where were we to? We got to Hazine superconductors, whatever they are. Up there. Put that there, right. I didn't want to do that. So what is this stuff? What is this stuff? So that's as far as we can go when it comes to automated manufacturing. So that one needs aldemite and cesium. The other two look to be manufactured, so that means at least one more, well, 2 planets possibly. Cesium, so it's the same thing, but andesite. Okay, that's a problem. Europium and lithium. Palladium. Rothosite, lithium. Memory I have no idea where I can get memory substrate from. fudgesicles, tazine and palladium, terbium and virile. So I've only got 5. I mean, let's be honest here. I've only got 5 outposts that I can make. The chance of me getting some of these materials, or rather all of them, is looking slim, to say the least. I might have to do a complete rethink. Because what I was doing is, I mean, there's like a storage facility I've got here. So that has its own, so there's the storage facility itself. There's an internal link for storage, because what I was thinking, it's a bit dangerous at one point was, oh well, in that case let's send surplus stuff from here onto an extra storage facility and I'll just dump stuff there. The trouble is, could end up in a situation I've got no means to control. Not in the vanilla sense. There's no means to control things. This is where the process falls apart again. I can't. Let's go back to here. Like I say, that they built a simple system, but they also complicated it. So I can't set up a filter at the other end to separate things out from here. I can't guarantee that only silver goes in here, only nickel goes in here, and so on. That's not an option. And in some ways it probably makes sense, because otherwise you'd get a bottleneck. I might get to a situation where silver's filling up here because there's not enough storage here for it. Even if I keep building and adding to this, at some point I might hit a limit where I just can't accept any more silver. So it starts bottlenecking here, because this doesn't have an infinite supply. It's just here's some silver. So now it can't get the nickel through to here. So now I've got a system shortage. So it doesn't, by keeping it simple, in other words, there's no filtering or anything. The concept of bottlenecks is in one place here. As long as you're dealing with max capacity, or you've got plenty of storage for your resources, then you're fine. The problem is, what they didn't give you is a means to sell off excess resources, or to, because you don't want to blog it and say I only want say like 450 silver going into here, because then you bottleneck it upstream. The only way to handle it really is to have a system in place where you say, look, once we get to here, if there's too many resources, if we've got like 1,000 silver, that's just crazy. I don't need any more than 1,000 silver. Sell it off. That's one thing that's missing. It doesn't exist within this game, this ability to get rid of excess capacity. So I was thinking, okay, well, let's have this extra storage facility. I'll start dumping things in this storage outpost here, but that's one extra outpost. I've used up two of my possible outposts, one for an internal link to bring all of the excess stuff here to here, because that's what I was thinking. Any planet where there's excess, send it here, and then from here it would get to here. But again, I'd still have the problem of a bottleneck in the system. You just stuck. The easiest fix is to have an overflow system where you just say, look, once I get to this threshold, you know, like 1,000 silver, just sell any excess. I really don't need that amount. Because the big problem, I mean, silver is in Let's go over to Skink. So Skink is over here. So this is where I'm producing silver. As far as I'm aware, there's only one extractor here that's actually using it, producing it.
There's not much to gaze at here. I guess we'll have to look at each other instead.
Hello! So, drives me nuts sometimes. He's hilarious. I must admit, I do like him a lot. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So this is where we're producing silver. This incidentally got broken. There's something weird going on because this can do silver and lead, and I had to rebuild this because my silver extractor somehow ended up in a weird place. But that's it. That's all it does, and it's producing 1.11 per minute. So it's got me scratching my head because I do need silver. It goes into things like zero wire, for instance. I think. But even with just one extractor, we're starting to get too much by the looks of it. Things are bottlenecking, so it's not being held up here. I'm going to have a bit of a look-see at the output box. Yeah, it's not being held up here. So we'll go over to, is it Burn or Baran? So we go over to here. I want to see what's going on here then. But this is the problem, you've got like, I think there's different time zones for different places as well. Some of them can produce resources at a faster rate than others. Even if you've just got one extractor. It's the whole thing, like I said, just starts to unravel. So if you keep it simple, it makes sense. Just don't have bottlenecks along the way, and you just dump everything at one place, and then you've got to figure out, well, how do I handle all of that capacity? So that's outgoing. So this is nickel that's coming in. So this must be the cobalt one then. What's that one? Not telling. Oh, that's the one that goes to Ursa Major. Right, okay, I see. Yeah, this is where it starts to get complicated. It's like, well, which one's which? So I think that might be the silver one because there's only one. I mean, I suppose it gets as complicated as you want it to be. I could do it like a proper management system, like tells me what on earth's going on. Where's the bottlenecks? Where are things going? Where they're not going? I mean, at the moment I've had to literally drop things like fiber because I've just got like thousands and thousands of it. Yeah, so this is the silver one. So at the moment we're not producing enough. We're not producing enough silver. So even though there was a bit of silver sitting in the box, that's a bit deceptive. It's not actually in excess. It's a case of there's not enough storage for anything else. It's like, oh, fudgesicles. But at least if I want to try and resolve it, I've just got to go here. As long as things are being made, the problem should always be here at the end point. And it is, it's just, there's just not enough storage capacity. But because of all, put that away. No, don't want that. I want this. Don't want that. Right, let's see. So the idea is, this has got multiple links going off. So rather than having to keep adding to this and adding more links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break that link there. So this for me is, in theory, simpler. For me. Anyway, I need another storage box. Somewhere in here there's a box that's capable of storing things in. Alright, so I'm going to link that to there. Then I'll go from there to there. Right, you're feeding off to that one now. The fact that it's getting full suggests there's just not enough to do. Right, you're that link there. So break that link there. Now here's where it gets interesting. We'll pick this one up. 3, I think, is probably pushing the limit. So that's no longer empty. So that's feeding up to there, then up to there. So this is, whatever's in here is too much. So silver, copper, cobalt, there's a bit of copper in there. This is the other problem I don't necessarily know. Is there a... Because I'm linked up to that one, is that supplying stuff for these, or is it a case of... I mean, does it have access to all of the resources in this entire chain? Or can it only get access to what's in that specific box? That's what's got me bothered. But I'm keeping these on the off chance something happens. But the problem is I can't, the more I think about it, I can't do anything further upstream because it just creates bottlenecks. Unless you can introduce excess sell-off at source and say, look, well, make about 100 silver, anything excess, just sell it off. If this place starts getting short of something, then maybe I could increase it and say, well, actually make 150, then sell the excess off. But it's probably easier here just to do it that way, I think. Any excess would get sold here, but there isn't a means to do it. At least, well, I think you can do it in this mod. I think that's one of its features, and I'm kind of holding off because then there's still a DLC to potentially. I think there's at least one more DLC to be made because they've only had one so far. Bethesda being Bethesda, they'll probably make at least maybe another 2, I think. Right, austenitic manifolds. So is that something we're making? This is another trouble I find with this, is I can't just move the mouse around. I've got to move the cursors around and find out what I'm doing. So, oh, there we go. So that's austenitic manifolds there. So was that the first one? So if I take that link there and hook it up to there. So now it's saying it's got access to austenitic manifolds and isotopic coolants, which is interesting. I think it's... now there's a thought. It's quite possible that was doing something else at the time. Or is it only telling me that because it's hooked up to a potential source of it? Yeah. Now it's saying there's a possible 17 of 1. That's a bit bizarre, that. So where's it getting the idea that it can get isotopic coolants from? Why does it... because it's only got one link. Why does it think it can get access to isotopic coolants? So you do isocentered magnets. Right, well I'll hook that one up to there. So there's still the problem of dysprosium though. So that's more realistic then. Right, second one. Reactive gauges. Now... somewhere along here, I think we are making reactive gauges. Monopropellant, polytextile, reactive gauges. This is the other thing, it's like the sheer number of links. Because I mean, I could dump all of these into a larger storage, but what happens when you start like using up these items at a fast rate? The other storage box that you've got, the bigger storage box, will then be filled up with other things, other these, and then you'll end up with a bigger storage box that doesn't have these things in. So it's like, it's the sheer number of links just gets bonkers. Mag pressure tanks. I do believe we're making mag pressure tanks. So is it this one? Tario Steel. I'm sure there's somewhere where there was mag pressure tanks. Aha. So that's the third one, I think, isn't it? Again, membrane. I don't know where I can get membrane from. Semi-metal wafers. I don't know. That doesn't ring a bell. What are we making? Control rods, drilling rigs, molecular sieves. Aha, so they make semi-metal wafers. I'll have to put these somewhere else, to be fair. But at least I know where it would hook up to. Well, let's do that. And just put, while I'm at it, then, just so I know. So this is the interesting thing, is trying to find out, well, what produces what. And then you know what to bring in. So I'll plunk that down. That was close to... Which one was it? Sterile nanotubes, semi-metal wafers. Is that... Hold on, which one needs semi-metal wafers? That one. Right, so hook that one up to that one. That one up to that one. But that's going to need... It doesn't have any yet, we haven't made any, but... Zero wire. Oh, crikey, we do make zero wire somewhere. So that's that one there, isn't it? But it needs gold and neodymium. Tau grade rheostat or something. These ones. So that's... Is that one? But it needs antimony and vanadium. So that's another zero wire one. Is that... Is it that one? Yeah, that needs zero wire. That needs... Oh, hold on a tick. Now my brain's getting confused. That right, that needed zero wire. Rheostats, zero wire. Are we making molecular sieves anywhere? Reactive gauges. Polytextiles. Yeah, this is frustrating having to bounce around with them keys. Because that's something that the more sophisticated machines make. These are just frames, aren't they? Oh, hold on, tick. You've got fuel rods, molecular sieves. That's what that one is, doesn't it? Molecular sieves. It's interesting. You've got to think like the sheer amount of thought that went into all of this. Somebody planning all of this stuff out over time. It's like, oh, let's get that to do this and this to do that. I mean, I'd like to think that they actually tested all this. I mean, I might be being optimistic, but it's just because I'm looking at the sheer number of links here. But that's going to need... See, that one thinks it's going to get solvent from somewhere. I haven't hooked it up yet. ISO-centered magnets. Are we making them at somewhere? Monopropellant. Man, seriously, that's isotopic coolant there. That was the 5th one. Right, so the 5th one. I can figure out where. Seriously. Right, so I'm going to hook that up to the one on the close to the end. ISO-centered magnets. I've seen that somewhere. I think. At least I like to think I have. Nope. Ah, so that's the 4th one. So is it this one? So you want the 4th one. I mean, it is tempting to, like, as I said, dump everything into one big box. You know, like stack of stuff like here, but like I say, it would just keep running out, surely. Because I'm not going to keep all these things. They're only going to make a certain amount. I'm not going to be doing much with them. Is that something else that's missing? An ability to actually automatically sell all this stuff off? ISO-centered magnets. Was that the one we were just looking at? Yeah. I mean, all these are going to have to get moved somewhere. See, now all of a sudden it seems to think it's going to get tantalum and lubricant from here. Why does it think that? It's confused. Now this one needs microsecond regulators, semi-metal wafers. So the tower grade rheostats was that one, wasn't it? So that's the 3rd one. 4th one. Was it the 5th one? I can't remember. It's a 3rd one. Like that. Yeah, the sheer number of links is just mind-boggling. Positron batteries. Now that's something one of these makes. One of these makes positron batteries. Yeah, that one makes positron batteries. I mean, this whole thing would need tidying up because I mean, I want to remove the. Oh, what jeez, I can't remember. Is it the 4th? Right, it's that one there. Is it the 4th one? It's the 4th one. Yeah, jeez Louise, this is like seriously complex. A paramagnon conductor. Is that something we're making? Super cool magnets. Oh, there's semi-metal wafers there. That rings a bell. So I can do that, but put that there for now. I mean, the whole idea is this one needs tidying up, moving somewhere else. So somebody needed semi-metal wafers, didn't they? Yeah, the 2nd one. I mean, we're not doing anything at all now because the power's... I've run out of power. Right, you need paramagnon conductors. Aha, so you're making paramagnon conductors then. That little bit of tune there, it's very much a Star Trek theme, that. I'm just saying. So it's at the fourth one. There. Right there. That is very much Star Trek. I'm just, you know. Right, so you need semi-metal wafers, which is... So that's the fifth one. Oh, I don't think I've got a link yet. Nope. Yes. Is that not linked or something? Yeah, sometimes you don't get the link working. Right, you're the one doing semi-metal wafers. But I'm gonna need like a bajillion power. I think it's that one. Oh, jiggles. Yes, it is. It's that one. It's the one that doesn't have anything. Yeah, it's an interesting business to get into. I'm seriously questioning what was the theory behind this. Substrate sieves. Somebody was doing super cool magnets, weren't they? Microsecond regulators, indesite wafers. Who was doing? Somebody somewhere was doing magnets. So you need molecular sieves. So the last one, or the new one, needs molecular sieves. Who was doing molecular sieves? You're doing super cool magnets. Ah. Go away. Stop clicking. Stop clicking and snapping to things. It's not welcome. Right, you're capable of making super cool magnets. So who was it who wanted the super cool magnets then? Third one. Yeah, you're gonna end up with like a... I mean, the sheer amount of links is just bonkers. A molecular sieve, that's what I was looking for. Who was doing the molecular sieves? Nanotubes, positrons, paramagnon things. Right, so you're a molecular sieve person. Or machine. You're looking for paramagnon conductors. That's something else we've been doing, isn't it? So I'm going to have to basically hook up as much as I possibly can. Oh, fudgesicles was the wrong one. Right, paramagnon. Who's the paramagnon person? I was close. It was that one. But yeah, I'm just thinking like the sheer number of links I'm going to have, because I'm going to have to try and tidy this all up in a certain way. But the $64 million question is, can I get all of the actual resources here? I mean, I know there's some of the resources they're asking for you can't manufacture. Like polymer, for instance. I'm sure there's one of them here is asking for polymer. Why won't you go into the... It's acting a bit strange. I'm sure I saw one of them asking for polymer. Hey, that's asking for polymer. Now... Oh, hold on a tick. Oh, you do need a conductor. Oh, only on. Okay. So you need austenitic manifolds, which is one of these ones, isn't it? Yeah, but I know for certain that, at least as far as I'm aware, polymer is something you can't manufacture. Which means I'm going to have to start bringing that in and storing a supply of it myself somewhere. Indesite wafers. Who was making the wafers? Right, so you make them. So you can't help but feel like they've missed a trick here. Nuclear fuel rods. Control rods, drilling rig. Aha. I mean, I wouldn't know if any of this works until I get them up and running, to be fair. But I am puzzled as to why some of these like think they've got the resources when they don't. It's like, oh well, there's something in the box. I'm connected to a box. Like that one there, for instance. All I've got it hooked up to is to one that's got austenitic manifolds. It's all it makes. And for some strange reason, it seems to think it's got a link to give it access to isotopic coolants. Oh, I tell a lie, it does. It's got 2 links. Okay, brain's not working. No, never mind. But no, the challenge now is then trying to find a way, I suspect, to probably try and consolidate. Try and find like planets where I can get lots of resources, because I'm just limited in how many planets, how many outposts I can actually use, set up. I mean, I've got somewhere that does tungsten, but that's not being brought in yet. I've got somewhere that makes lubricant. I haven't found anything about ionic liquids. I've done about that. Solvent, I don't know. Uranium, I'm going to have to find somewhere else for that. And for the gold and the neodymium. Antimony and vanadium, already covered that. Tantalum, I don't know why it thinks it's got access to tantalum. But I know I've got an outpost that can produce it. I'm still looking for this way to consolidate fibre and cosmetic. At the moment it's just being brought into the place. I mean, aldamite and cesium. There's a microsecond regulator out here somewhere. I'm sure something was making microsecond regulators. What are you doing? Sterile nanotubes, 0 gimbals. Something somewhere was making them. Aha, you're making them. So that's interesting. So that one's got to feed back to that one. Right, so if we get that one to hook to that, then that to that. Drilling rigs, which is that one. That one. So that one goes to that one. So one of these needs drilling rigs. That one. Yeah, so like in hindsight, I should have really done this from the start. But it's like, yeah. But I still need to find aldamite and cesium. Indesite, solvent I think is something you make, but at least the cesium's common. Lithium and... So where's the super cooled magnets coming from? Is it one of these ones? Let's have a look. I'm sure there was something was making super cooled magnets. 0 gimbals. Oh yes, we're already feeding that. Yeah, that must already be probably feeding into that. The only way I'll find out is I'm going to have to put in a lot more power. I mean like a bajillion power. And then see if it's actually possible to get those actual resources. I'll start working on getting the ones for the tier 2 stuff. I still need cosmetic and fibre for tier 1. What I could do is I could bring some of the resources here, dump them into the big boxes and gas storage, liquid storage, whatever it is. I could just dump them there and then get the system working so I know it works, and then I've got to figure out if it's possible to get the actual cargo in and do it that way. Then I'll just have to find out what is it you've got to buy, and I'm pretty sure polymer's one of them. But that's going to take like forever and a day. But it's always going to have this problem where you're just going to run out of storage. I mean, that's my bigger concern. It sounds good in theory, but it's not practical. For me, it's just not practical. I mean, that hasn't filled up yet since I've added an extra storage, but it seems nuts having to keep add all this, just keep adding more and more storage to the solution. Because you'll get to a point where you just don't need anything anymore, I suppose. But I'm curious to see what is possible. There is also a mod out there that I might be able to take advantage of and see if I can do that. But that's sort of stuff I really want to be doing off camera. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to beaver away with this in the background. If I ever do find a way to get this working, I might bring it back, but otherwise I think I'm just going to park Starfield until the next DLC comes along. Fingers crossed they might do something with the outposts, because they certainly did that with Fallout 4. They did something to improve like settlement when they brought in the automation DLC. It wasn't much of a DLC as such, but it brought some interesting things in, and then people brought in some seriously useful mods and what have you. I might test out this mod at some point. That might fix my problems, but yeah, I think the next time we'll be back, probably, unless I find a way to fix this in the vanilla game or with the mod.
It must be great to be able to see yourself whenever you want. I bet your whole house is full of mirrors.
Oddly enough, I don't have a house. Well, I do. I think I've got quite a few. I just don't use them. But anyway, yeah, I think realistically, it's probably more likely the next time I bring Starfield back is when the next DLC is out. So that could make things interesting. Or not.
We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all. What's out there? You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family.
We do not fully understand all that is at work here.
No finer group in the stars to be unraveling this mystery.
I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
Grab jump is ready. I love this part.
These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel.
Human settlements throughout the galaxy could be at risk.
We are not stopping. Whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever. This is where we belong.